one of the most ancient forms of communication is through the hands. You have hand signals, and you had hand signals and hand signs and sign language ever since the dawn of civilization. And you had, since the very beginning, the zodiacal system being set up by the fingers too. From left hand to right hand, you got this. Now these signs, what make these hand signs so important is that they tie into very, very heavy levels of mysticism. A lot of the secret societies, they use hand signs to communicate. Same thing with a gang. Same thing when you're dealing with sign language itself for the hearing impaired. Either way, language was created, a form of it, just through merely using your hands. Crossing guards use hands to direct traffic. When there's construction going on, a police officer will use their hands to direct the flow of traffic. See, the hands, just the hands alone, not even using your voice, you control traffic with your hands. This is why essentially most things that are created with the hands. Even if you're just using your voice, in a lot of instances, a microphone is involved, a podium is involved, the hands might be involved in preparing the speech. The hands might be involved in communication also from an oratorical standpoint. When you're speaking to people, there might be, the platform might be more of a charismatic expression where your hands become part of your speaking. There's dancing, there's drawing, but most things that can be made are usually made with the hands. Which brings us to one of the fingers that we can discuss, or that we will start with, is the thumb. This is what you can call the controller. What they say separates humans from the other primates. What they call the opposable workable thumb. Which is among one of the most intensive things to study, the operation of the human thumb. Our generation, all of the kids born in the 70s and 80s, they were trained to text. Folks in the 70s, trained to work with the forklifts. I'll give you two things that provided this training: the Atari and the Nintendo. The controller with the Atari being the joystick with the one button. This is the crane operator, or the forklift per se. This is construction. The Atari joystick. That's the construction, the building of that form of the working class. And then the Nintendo, you were using just your two thumbs. And now we have texting. But ever since children, a lot of indigo babies, a lot of indigo children, right? They were mechanically trained. Muscle memory and hand-eye coordination was trained to text even before we started texting. Just through the controllers of the game and entertainment systems of the 80s and 90s, the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Atari, Nintendo, using your thumbs. So you have a whole different society, the cutting edge of society, the leading edge of society, where we currently are. And this is being led with thumbs. You understand? Because of the prevalence of the smartphone. In the generations after us, like the Blu-ray babies, they're dealing with the all mind. They're coming up in the world where people are using the RFID chip to buy and sell. That's happening now, where there are social credit scores based on the readings of biometrics. This is here. So they're in the phase of the everything. They're back into the pure 4D. We're going back to the future as if it were the past. We're going back into a higher form, back into a higher vibration, a higher type of existence. We're going back into that. And a part of it is very minimalistic, with the whole less is more and technology being able to integrate things and synchronize things and synthesize things. All of this is a form of advancement, but it doesn't place as much emphasis on the outside world, which makes it look like the world is not improving as fast as it is. In fact, it might even have the veneer of de-evolution attached to it, because you just see like different types of neighborhoods being rebuilt and gentrified and certain metropolitan areas being revamped. But on the whole, you got like the world basically staying the same. Societies overall, they're basically staying the same. And then you got so that's all of this is like attached to the thumbs. Now we're talking about hand signs. So the thumb is the controller, the index finger is the identifier, right? You're pointing either at somebody or pointing yourself in a certain direction. So that has everything to do with what? Labeling, identifying. It's the pointer finger, the index finger, and the middle finger, which is right in the middle. You know, you got 3 fingers on either side of the middle finger. That is the finger where, you know what, you flip the bird. So that finger is actually the one finger that's considered a weapon, because you use that to flip somebody off. You use that as a profanity, which is really a sign of like independence. And the flipping with the F-bomb means to strike hard. That's what that word means. That's what the F-bomb is. It's a military term that means usually when you have a bigger target, you know, they say, well, you just gonna have to F it then. You're gonna have to strike hard. You're gonna have to, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Really put your weight behind your strike and put your force behind it. You're gonna have to strike hard. The middle finger represents this. This is why I have this around the middle finger. The Saturnian band around the Saturnian finger. So that's the middle finger. And again, I might have the planets mixed up, but you know, for the most part, the fingers will represent a planet, a planetary energy also. Then you have the ring finger, right? The finger of alliances, belonging, the gathering, the circle, the church, the ring finger, where you wear the wedding band at, right? That's the alliance. And then you have the pinky finger that holds it all together, the sign, the calling card. What do? You promise with that. You promise with that one, right? They call it what? A pinky swear. So that's the pinky finger is the finger of the oath. And a lot of secret societies, they can't really tell you this, but they can allude to it in different things. And in that, they let you know what's going on, even with the fingers. You even have manuals now that deal with hand signs, and there's whole entire alphabets aside from regular sign language that have everything to do with communicating with the hands. And if you can communicate with the hands, then you can do things with the hands also. And with this came a lot of spell cast and a lot of spellcraft simply through the use of hand signs. So again, this is Super T Sigma of Sigma Programming, where reaching is teaching. I thank you for your time and attention. Continue to vibrate high, people. Peace.